This is a replay of a lap in F1 driving a McLaren Artura in a supercar time trial at Bahrain in wet conditions. The first corner was funny because you'd often lose time from bouncing over the curb, but sometimes you'd get away with it, as if you sometimes got lucky with the way the car landed after bouncing over the curb. The supercars feel like they handle very differently to the F1 cars in the game. I used to play Race 07 Factor, which had tin tops that felt similar to these supercars, and it also helped that I used to practice Bahrain because it was in the F1 game since at least 2010, and I would practice for league races when I played those earlier games. I did a couple of hours trying to set a good time here, driving with my Thrustmaster TSPC wheel. I think we have turn 8 coming up here, but the corners are a bit too indistinct to count them. This is the only one where I felt like I was losing time, but I'm not sure what I was doing wrong. The next one was interesting, because you swing the car by slipping on the outside curb, and aim to slip on the curb again on the next one, as you try to line the car up to accelerate early for the straight here. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some more tricks like that throughout the lap. I think most players focused on driving the F1 cars. I suspect that the leaderboards would have been more competitive if the supercars weren't treated like they were a bit of a gimmick. They just handled so differently that I think most people focused on the F1 cars. I usually don't take time trials too seriously because you see so much cheating in the fastest times. I remember seeing a competition in Sim Raceway where the fastest lap involved hitting the barrier, but if you did that yourself then you risked being disqualified, and you had no idea if other players bumping the walls would eventually get disqualified. There was a rule against it, but I'm not sure if it was enforced. I think I did well in the supercars because I would struggle to break into the top 10% with F1 cars, but I could reach the top 1% with supercars, including Imola in Spain. So that lap was 2 minutes and 12.967 seconds. At the time in September 2022, it was the second fastest lap out of 219 players, and I intended to make a video about the lap at the time because that was one of my best time trial positions, but I didn't get around to it until September 2025. By which point there were 936 players on the leaderboard and my best lap was now 4th fastest. I doubt there would be many more entries in future because the game is no longer available for purchase, which is a classic Electronic Arts move. They don't state why it's no longer available, but the rumour is that in this case it's a licensing issue.